Hello sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, today we have Mr. Raju Varghese, who is the Director of Academics of Lexicon Management Institute of Leadership and Excellence. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Today we are here to know Mr. Raju Varghese's thoughts on education industry and what he thinks about the future of Lexicon Management Institute of Leadership and Excellence, and what does he think about how the COVID-19 has hit the education sector. Right. So, sir, this brings to my first question. Like, what do you think about how the COVID-19 has hit the education industry?
So, to understand the impact of COVID-19 on education, we can categorize it into two categories. Basically, one is the psychological impact. So, there is a lot of fear, there is a lot of apprehension in the atmosphere, and that will more or less be there till a final cure is found out. But if that is something about which the student, the teacher, the institution, etc., can do precious little. The other side of COVID, which is something we need to explore more, is that it gives the student, it gives the institution, it gives teachers, it gives professors a lot of time to explore so many different unexplored areas. So I would say, rather than ponder on what is going to be the impact of COVID and just look at the scorecard of so many infected, so many not infected, we would rather be more constructive and focus on what are the skill sets one can acquire in the time that we have got.
Absolutely.
So we've got a lot of additional time. We can use it to enroll ourselves in programs on SWILE. We can use it to get so many different types of certifications which are relevant. Most of the platforms, the online learning platforms are abuzz with so many degrees, so many certifications. We try to get it. So what happens at the end of the COVID period is, it will end, definitely. So what happens at the end is, let's say you are XYZ student, now you are XYZ student with plus one certification, plus two certification, plus three certification, thereby impacting employability. So your chances of getting selected increases. So I would put the impact of COVID, forget the destructive impact of it. The constructive impact is you have time, and you have time to explore a lot of things as far as your academics are.
Does that mean whoever uses the time to the maximum level, and whoever optimizes this time will have a better chance of becoming employable if it is not employable currently?
So, in our interaction with students, we are seeing a lot of pensiveness, a lot of tension, a lot of underlying pressure. So, what are we being pensive about? What are we being tense about? Is what will happen to us. However hard this might be to digest, do we have any sort of a control on that? We don't. So, what is the factor that we have some control upon is the element of time. So we are not physically traveling much. So that is saving a lot of time. So the online platform or the blended learning platform, it gives you so many different avenues of searching for so many different options. One of the premium colleges, any one of the Harvard colleges, those sessions, 1 hour sessions are easily available, free. And this is coming by some of the most premium professors available in the world. So why don't we have access to that? Why don't we skill build through some certifications? It could be Six Sigma, or it could be something which is very, very skill oriented. It could be public speaking. So I'm saying just go on acquiring more and more skills so that once the opening happens, the industry finds you fit and ready to your job. So your chances of getting selected, getting placed improves.
Right. So, being the Director of Academics of Lexicon Mike Pune, what is your philosophy of leadership and how do you describe your leadership style?
Okay. So we are used to so many different styles of leadership. So we've got, so we're not going to the exhaustiveness of leadership style. But according to me, what should be a good leader? A good leader should be a person who makes his role redundant. मतलब वो इतना अच्छा लीडर बन जाए कि उसका जो फॉलोअर है is in a position to lead by himself so that his role diminishes. Absolutely. So we don't want leadership styles to dictate something to the follower. I would rather have leadership style which says you become free to explore so many different types of leadership action, drive that leadership game, and explore yourself, your skill sets as a leader. And if I'm helping you do that, I'm a good leader. So any leader has got a short span, short journey span. So he starts with the follower for some time, and then the follower has to lead. That is where the purpose of the leader is served. So the leader himself should go off, and the follower should lead. That should be the leadership style.
I think that is how we empower a follower, right?
That is the word. Empowered followers is much better than a leader dictating terms, norms, etc., etc. So an empowerment is something which is that's a beautiful word that they have used. So empowered followers is what the leadership should be.
Sir, what are the benefits and career options after pursuing PGDM from Mexican Mile in the future?
So what Lexicon Mile does is we got some offerings which are very different from the conventional MBA or the competitive offerings. So one thing which helps a student of Lexicon Mile score well as far as future jobs is concerned is we got a comparatively elongated internship. So our internships could be as long as 9 months. So the academic cycle is for about 11 months, and the internship cycle is for about 9 months. So what happens in the 9 months is there is a breaking into the industry that has happened. Most of the concepts that they have studied or they have come with zero experience to Lexicon, but now are broken into the industry and they have started learning. Maybe it is basics of HR, maybe it is fundamentals of sales, or it could be very fundamentally bookkeeping or managerial accounting. So what happens is they start understanding the functioning of the workplace. So that is how I would put Lexicon has to be very different from conventional management institutions. Otherwise, if you look at it, the curriculum-based study. So we said we are not going to be a simple curriculum-based study. We are going to have curriculum-based study, and we also have an add-on of internship. So whatever is being studied is reinforced through whatever learning is happening in the internship. So that is how we would say we are comparatively more distinct as far as Lexicon Mile offering is concerned versus the other offerings.
So you have decades of experience in the education industry, and which is also visible from what you say, from what you experience, and what your vision is. So I wanted to know, how do you plan on using this immense knowledge and experience that you have in order to build a better future for the tomorrow?
So, see, I got a lot of experience, but I got some recent experience in education. But I am a limited person, so I am after all limited to one being. So what we have in Lexicon, again that stands out, is we have a very wonderfully selective academic council. So this has learned professors from IIM Ahmedabad. We got people who are passed out from IIM Calcutta. We got one gentleman from IIT Kharagpur, another one from IIM Bangalore. Some people working for organizations like Apple. So what we have done is the council comprises of the academicians, and the council also comprises of recruiters. So we get the council together in one forum, and then we have a lot of discussions on these are the things that we have done and what are the results and what could be the possible gaps, what are the fulfillments that we should be doing. So the academic council becomes one major decider of academic contents as far as Lexicon Mile is concerned. So it is not a one person centric. So one person, you are right, immense experience, but one person is limited to one person. The second thing which I would like to focus on, again, which is very distinctive as far as Lexicon is concerned, is we go for a lot of revisions as far as our teaching content is concerned. So when you, again, this is something which most of the colleges do, they revise teaching content. But our teaching content we have revised onto different platforms. So we have got a platform on classroom delivery, we have got a platform on learnings apart from the classroom delivery. We have got another platform which is meant for only activities related to the subject. So, for example, you are learning marketing, but you will be doing something in event management so that your knowledge of event management actually reinforces your knowledge of marketing. So yes, we do it on separate platforms. So what we are focusing on is the knowledge, skills, the ability part of it, and we are getting it out of the textual thing and asking the student to do it in his internship or through some sort of an assignment. So the textual part gets reinforced with the doing part, the practical knowledge part, and that is how the learning happens.
Right. So it is the same. It is more of a cross learning process. Wherein on one day you are learning something, on other day you are practicing something.
Correct. So the point is, if you learn and just write a paper rather than doing that, if you do it something on it. So we got a wonderful project on something which is as routine as International Women's Day, but we made an event of it.
Right.
So what happened was, we had a company which came to us and said, we would like our inauguration to be done on International Women's Day. And the company was a cab service. Now, what does a cab service have to do with International Women's Day was a big challenge for people to put in. But they said they were very much insistent on the fact that they wanted it on. So we had a think tank of about 20 students who did the concept, executed the concept. The company was very, very happy. We had a lot of practical events going on, a lot of women celebrities who came and talked on that particular day. So this is how the marketing learning enforcement actually happens. So it is not simply textual. So I don't want to get into the textual part of it, because textual is something which is available on so many platforms. Textbook may have, you have it on the internet. So the student can always go and get it. So what is going to be the distinctive feature is the application of the textual. So that is what we are focusing.
Ultimately, if you're not able to implement what you've learned, then you learn nothing. What I mean.
Absolutely. So the fact is, you go through 10 books on marketing and you're not able to execute one sales is
of no use.
It's of no use. Or if you're learning human resource management and you're not in a position to handle human resources when they are available, so no use. So we would always try to integrate students into all institute processes, right from day one to day end. And wherever there is some scope for learning, we will try to get the student to participate and learn into that process. So that is how the learning quotient is.
Right. Sir, according to you, what makes the educational industry the best industry to work in?
Okay, so I'll redefine the question to some extent. So it will be what makes teaching worth teaching.
Right.
So, and therefore, you also define what a teacher is. Unfortunately, we do not have a parameter to define teaching.
Right.
So if you try to define a teacher on the basis of his education qualifications, the master's degree or the PhD, so they are not actually measuring teaching in any sense. They are only measuring your knowledge in that.
But again, comes to the previous question, wherein you have learned a lot, but now how will you implement it?
Now, I wanted to teach. So when I was in my post-graduation, studying in Ahmednagar, I wanted to teach. So this is a very strong kind of an inclination that I always have. It could be because my mother is a teacher, my grandparents from my mother's side is a teacher. I don't know if it is genetic, but I always wanted to teach. But I also know at that point of time when I come into teaching, I have left a lot of lucrative career options aside. So I know Mercedes is a car which I am going to only watch, never drive, because I am going to be a teacher. Then I am an influencer. So I can influence a lot of young minds. I can shape up maybe a small city to a district. I can be involved in so many constructive activities wherein I am interacting with the youth. And youth is what change in any country. So what is the best thing about teaching, if you ask me? The best possible thing is the interaction with youth. So that keeps you young, because they are always one step ahead in terms of technology. So the minute you say, मैंने segmentation targeting position यहाँ से पढ़ा, they would have already had access to it. So that is what makes it more challenging. So what is the thrill of teaching? It is the fact that you are influencing, you are shaping up a lot of minds, and you are giving them multiple perspectives. ऐसा नहीं कि आपने जो सोचा वो भी वैसे ही सोचा. So we give them a freedom to think the way they want. So this might not be the only best way of it. That could be this way, that way. And then a 360-degree kind of a vision is what the student is exposed to. I would say that is the successful team.
Right.
So that is what makes teaching. That is what makes being in this profession that much more.
Sir, what is your opinion on the national education policy 2020?
So there is a lot of very interesting things that have been said about the national education policy. So one thing which I find, and one major way in which it is distinct from all the other policy parameters that were followed with respect to education, is the fact that it changes the entire basic structure of education, not only higher education but also basic school education.
Right.
So the policy, the education policy was okay till one point of time. So who has shaped up our education policy? It is not technically us. So we have got an education policy that was inherited because of a foreign rule, and we went on doing maybe slight modifications. Now, when that policy was formulated, which said first to 10th standard, 10 to 12th standard, it has been in focus for such a long period of time. The environment has changed drastically. So therefore, we require to be much more adaptive. And current education policy actually questions a lot of these set rules. So say for example, during my time, education policy or education meant basically to be an arts stream or a science stream or etc. stream. But now there is something called liberal arts. So you can explore what you want. So that is the flavor which the current education policy brings. And I like the fact that, say, when I was a student in 10th standard, if I was a student of, in 12th standard, if I was a student of science, then my world was restricted to PC and me. So I would never know economics, or I would never know accounting. But now the new education policy says, yes, you have got an option to explore the core area and an option to explore something which is called as an optional area. So I would say the new academic policy, because it's a new thought process, and although it will come in some time, a country like ours to get it into the implementing zone will take about a year or two, and there are policy guidelines mentioned there. So if you ask me, the greatest positive about the education policy is the relook which has happened into whatever was conventional and the rejig that it is going through. So it is going to touch everything right from preschool to 12th standard to higher education, which is the nicer part. So it is going to make, if you look at something called an industry academia gap, which was phenomenally high, maybe once this policy is implemented, we might have that gap closing, and not completely get eliminated, but closing. So that is how I do. That is my take as far as the education policies.
Sir, what are some plans you are currently designing for Expel My Pune and for its students?
So one thing that we have noticed is we are now shifting focus from simply physical learning.
So even normal
हाँ. अप्पा जी सर.
Sir, Sir, my next question is, what are some plans that you are currently designing for Extend My Pune and for its students?
So some plans that we are basically focusing on now is the emphasis on blended learning. Till the point of time we are open for a in-campus kind of a program. So we find again a lot of resistances from students because they don't want to go into online learning. Now I say that defining learning as online or offline is in itself redundant. Learning is learning, whatever format it is happening. So since we have got space restrictions, since we have got COVID restrictions, I would say blended learning is our basic focus. So that is one thing which we are going to focus very, very much on. And what advantage it gives us is I can have a resource from anywhere, throughout the country to throughout the world, who is addressing students with us, and the students have a chance of interacting with this guy, which would never have been possible maybe in a physical domain, where he would have practically come down and interact. So that blended learning is the first major change that we are actually focusing on. We are also defining some very hardcore certifications to go with the main program. So we have done a lot of experiment on a lot of certifications. So we are now focusing on specific certifications related to artificial intelligence. We are looking at subject-specific certifications. So something as routine as selling skills to something which is as complicated as psychometric tests. So apart from the main feature or the main content of the program, we are also looking at a lot of add-on certifications. So blended learnings is one, add-on certifications is the other. Then we got something which is very we used to do a study with the Department of Forest. So that was called winter internships. And this involved the student to go into a forest area under the supervision of Department of Forest and undertake a study which would be on their behalf, which could be on one or the other scheme, a governmental scheme that the department would be running. And our job was to measure the effectiveness of that scheme. So there was a kind of a partnership with the Department of Forest. So they would send us through different parts of Maharashtra. So we have been to Kolhapur and parts of Kolhapur, we have been to Aurangabad, Jalna, various districts in Maharashtra, where our students would spend 10 days researching on schools. And these 10 days, they would be in a very alien kind of an environment. So they would be in very rural Maharashtra because forests are basically rural. So they would have to understand the language, they would have to complete this survey. There was a certain survey target that was done. Once the survey was done, they would have to come back, prepare a report. It had to be presented. The entire report and the presentation would happen in front of the Department of Forest. And these were sent again to the Prime Minister's office, to the Chief Minister's office, so that policy revisions could happen. So that is another, one amongst the novel things that we do at Institute Management Institute. So coming back to the first question, student empowerment is the basic name of it. So we empower the students through projects, through learnings. Something as simple as manning traffic. We consider it to be a very routine, mundane kind of affair. But we have seen that whenever students get into manning traffic, they realize and start respecting the traffic police just for the thankless nature of the job that it is. You understand what it means to be indisciplined, what are the issues, and then you have a bond with that particular area, traffic policeman, and you are helping them. So you have created a community help kind of a thing. So we have been involved in healthier, once the Ganesh Chaturthi festival gets over, so the students have created platforms where the Visarjan of the Ganesh mandals could be in a comparatively healthier kind of environment without polluting lakes and rivers. Or eco-friendly murtis of Ganesh and so on. So as I'm saying, we are trying to relate the study to something which is pertinent and which is actually solving a society, a community kind of issue. So those are some of the things where lexicon would stand out because of the lexicon. Okay.
So what do you think should be Lexicon Mile's top priority over the next 3 years? Because the whole scenario of education has changed. The whole scenario of jobs has now changed. So what will be the top priority over the next 3 years?
So one thing we are very seriously focusing on is to change our identity from being an institution and then migrating to become a university. So that is somewhere there in the first, the next 3 year kind of program. So we would like to be a university. We would. So in terms of the next 3 years, that is the first target. The second is we are focusing on creating something called a Center for Excellence. In short, it is also called as COX. So what COX does is it integrates with medium and small industries. And we have got a very strong industrial belt which is about 10 kilometers from us. So COX, what it does is it tries to partner with the small and medium institutions, get them on board, get students do some kind of projects there, so that the student is more aware of the real world problems that is faced by entrepreneurs. So our study on entrepreneurship is not theoretical, which says this is what an entrepreneur does or this is the business model. We are actually exposing them to real life situations. So Fox is the second step, which is going to be a futuristic step for us because we intend to create a lot of solution centricity for the local industry. So step 1 is university, step 2 is Fox. Step 3 is we are in the process of trying to have a lot of discussions to revise them and make it more relevant to the current times. So one thing we have seen is reading as a quality is going down among students. How can we make content which is technically not readable but which is creating impact? So it could involve all the media and things like that. So these are some of the ways in which, and the basic focus will always be what as a learning institution or what as an education institution we are giving to the society. So are we relevant to the society? Have we solved a problem for the society? Even if it is something as simple as traffic at Waguri, have we partnered and solved it? To something as great as, maybe we went to a small scale industry and try to understand what the problem was and consult them, and through the help of our students or research we gave us solutions. So that is what we call society integration. So we would like to be socially relevant. We would also like to be a knowledge partner in so many different institutions, and through relevance we would like to give our programs the edge which the student wants in order for getting jobs, in order for becoming entrepreneurs.
So if you're telling about now the relatability part of the student has decreased over the years. So they do not read much, they do not consume content when it is readable. So is SPM developing some content on video basis or audio basis so that students can consume the content?
So what happens is the forms of reading. So, my generation is used to a book form of reading. And in our case, it was considered very traditional to read. More you read, more would be the chances of your getting selected. More would be the chances of knowledge assimilation. We have got a lot of different applications of reading books at coming. So one thing is Kindle. So you don't have to actually read physically a book. You can simply be aware through Kindle. There are books.
Are you going to externally and coming back?
Some issues, sir?
No. The first residents of externally are coming today.
Okay.
I just want to go and have a look at the hostel.
Fine, sir.
तो उसके बाद SIP में बैठो.
No problem.
जिनके साथ जल्दी चलिए. सर मोहन सर के पास उसमें बैठना है.
सर वो आपकी आवाज जो बुलंदी से आई ना रिकॉर्डिंग बंद हो गई.
Sorry.
No issues. So,
we will do question and answer whatever, and we go on to the next question. So, will you please throw some light on the extracurricular activities conducted at Lexicon Mile?
So we are as an institution, we are very focused on extracurriculars. So one thing which I just told you was the welfare intention, where you do it with the Department of Forest. So that is one. We have got a lot of events. It is a very event-centric learning medicine. So we have got as soon as the students come in, we have got an event which is to do with the city, and that is going to be held on almost on a national platform. So we are doing it online as of now. It has already started. Then we have got an event that is very specific to sports and management colleges. So there is a lot of extracurriculars there. We do a mega event which is related to golf. So what happens with golf is it's a sport which most people don't follow. But it is a sport that is very close to industry stalwarts.
Right.
So we have a 3-day golf event wherein you have a lot of industry people coming, and that is completely managed and executed by students. So they are the people who are interacting with the industry stalwarts. They are looking up to them. We have an awards program which is subsequent, which happens subsequent to the golf event. We have got business connect events. So what happens in a business connect is that we one of our main representatives interacting for 10 to 15 industry stalwarts, the current trend which is happening. So we got a lot of extracurriculars now. So be it sports, we have got an event which we called Phoenix, which is all about people who are initially entrepreneurial failures, but then came back and built empires, came back and built organizations. So there is a lot of extracurricular scope as far as Smile is concerned, because we primarily believe that management is a function of not only learning but also doing. So the more you do events, the more you do, and there are academic events which could be as simple as a case study event, to a non-academic event like sports, to singing, to group discussions and things like that. So there's a lot of things happening in that 10 months that the student is there.
Because last year I was there in the event of the Business Connect, a work event to tell. And it was one mega event and I enjoyed a lot. Because there were so many people coming on from different industries, different companies, and the diversity of the particular event was something that students currently are looking up to.
So what we had was, as I said, a lot of industry stalwarts. So one student or two students were assigned to each industry person, so they would interact with them. Most of those students, their knowledge of golf as a sports team increased tremendously. So they were walking around a lot, and then you have to take care because the golf balls would be, going past or going from behind you, understand the sport. And a lot of people then understood that, when you are on the course, when you're walking for about 8 to 10 kilometers with people of this category, there's a phenomenal learning, phenomenal opportunity identification that is taking place. And then, of course, the satisfaction of hosting the event and getting all these people in one platform. So,
also, I think it is a great place to network.
Right.
Because there are people coming in from so many companies, so many industries.
Right.
I know for a fact that there are people coming in from Mercedes.
Right.
There are people coming in from Apple.
Right.
So there were people coming in from such big companies.
Right.
Now, as a student, if you're getting a chance to interact with them, to network with them, it is a very big opportunity in itself.
So most of the student theories during that particular event were to do with the nature of golf per se, the sport. So something with what is a tee, and what are the different types of golf clubs you have to use, and what are the generic rules. And from there on, they realize that when you're walking from one hole to the other hole, you are discussing a lot of things, from politics to strategy to business and so on. And there was a lot of one-to-one networking that has happened. So there were some companies which identified potential students and said, yes, we would like to have them, and so on and so forth. So it's a great platform for networking, and even tremendously a bigger platform for organizing.
Right.
Because there are so many different things, so many different people are doing it. So unless and until you do it as a team, it doesn't gel and synchronize and fit it. So phenomenally, we did a TED event.
Right.
We did a TED event in February. Again, that had, so we were doing it for the first time. That was the first TED. The second is
I was part of the team.
of the event, so we were aware of it. But the back of the curtain scenes were phenomenal for us. So TED is very exacting in terms of what are the requirements they want. So we had to get the requirements in place, have the right kind of speaker blends to actually come and speak to the people. So the people, let's say we had one student by name Jay, another by name Vikram Purohit, who have actually handled the TED event. So I remember them by name even now. So they walk away with a phenomenal kind of an exposure of doing a TED. That gives you immense confidence. And that confidence is something that can carry them through. And for that particular event, I think one of our co-partners for that event was Times of India. And Jay subsequently became an employee with Times of India. So you can see the advantages of networking. Is one of their better performing.
So that is a front-end example of how networking works.
Correct. So they found a lot of connections in the manner in which we were doing. So as I said, when you as a student are exposed to something which has world class as tech or a business connect which has people from Mercedes, which has Volkswagen on the arena, so people will definitely be very, very evolved. And an evolved student has a better chance of this.
So, what would you like students to know about lexical mind, which they might not know already?
So one surprise which I've always come to a conclusion is that they always know a lot about things about which they are interested in. So they have got this mechanism of searching from the net about so many different things. So I can answer that question in a basket of let's say 10 points. So one thing which is very categorical of lexical is there is a lot of focus on academics. So we are giving a very tailor-made academic program which has been refined, refined, and which has got the say of the industry as well as academics. So first point is going to be academics. We are very case dependent, case study dependent. So and our idea of a case study is not something you say for example some foreign company or foreign case study, you would rather go in for indigenously build case studies. So something you can touch and feel. Because I had a student who was having a problem during his internships, where he said, "Sir, I'm not able to penetrate into the Jaipur market. Where is learning for us? So why is the penetration not happening?" So you would like indigenous case studies. So the first point was academics, the second is indigenous case studies. Then we are very event centered. Why are we event centered? Because we want the learning to be actually utilized rather than let it be preserved. So you need to implement learning, then only it works. That is the third point. We got a lot of social connect events. So one of the social connect events was with the Department of Forests, which I called the WIP. So there, people come to know what is basic schooling in a very interior kind of area. What are the limitations that we face it? So what is forest conservation? Maharashtra has one of the biggest forest covers. And what is the advantage of having that, and how do you retain it further? So a lot of social connect issues, interaction with medium and small scale industries. That is a part of Fox. We are building it up very strongly. So now maybe we will be planning to have the student work for at least one small scale industry for at least a period of 2 or 3 months out of the 9-month internship. So we have got emphasis on a lot of student-centric events, which could be as simple as singing. But when we are saying singing, the judge is going to be a acclaimed singer, and we are going to have a fan India kind of a platform. So if you are a singer amongst the group, if you measure up to the standard of an Indian singer, you will be there in that particular platform. So that is there. We are exploring sports, we are exploring extracurriculars, we are exploring non-conventional methods of teaching and learning. We got something called a tutorial session, which normally happens, which is an add-on to the main session. So the main session you have learned this, in the tutorial you might be learning an application of it and focusing on it. So the main session plus the tutorial session reinforces a theoretical point to the student and so on. So and if you ask in a very simple word, we are not stagnating at one point. So we are very dynamic. So what was great news for us last year is history. So we would have redefined history, now we are looking at something new. So we could have frozen up during COVID and have said, things are not happening the way it should happen. But we have not done that. So we migrated from what was a typical offline platform and we migrated to online very fast. Most of our tests, most of our answers, Vivas migrated into online very fast. Hardly the first 15 days of the COVID we had the platform. Right. So we are very dynamic. So we would not like to rest and say let's watch and wait. So the challenges that are thrown up by the environment, we are also reacting to that, and we are also trying to foresee it and get one step ahead to the extent.
Being associated with lexical mind, even I have witnessed that the very dynamic nature of lexical mind, it's people, be it you, be it some other person from lexical mind. The very dynamic nature of the people who are working towards the end goal is very commendable. It's very appreciable.
So it is not about, I as an academician, as a teacher, will have a very restricted kind of a role. When I understand what the student and the learning of the student is from a placement perspective, I have kind of increased my horizon of learning. When admission understands what is the basic criteria of the student that they should be getting in, and what are the things we can add on and improve in this limited time perspective, so admission also becomes a part of learning. So it is not a one person centric institution. So all the way from our top, which includes our founders, to the CEO, to the academic team, to the placement team, to to the admission team, everybody is contributing. So we are never isolated in it. Therefore, even in these tough times, we have always managed to be in touch, connected. We are connected to the market, we are connected to students. The reason behind the entire thing is that we would like to be relevant.
Right.
And we would like to be a solution-centric institution rather than being a cosmetic. So there's a lot of cosmetics available. We would rather be something which is more real, more solutions.
Alright. Sir, coming to an end, my last question would be any suggestion you would like to give to the current youth or to the aspiring students?
So don't freeze. Seeing the environment, I know there is a lot of hostility in the environment, a lot of negativity in the environment. If you're going to ponder environment, it is going to be a big question. So you are a small fry in the environment. Maybe you can end up getting the disease, you can end up not getting the disease. So what there are things that you can specifically do, right? Watch the diet, for example. Be healthy. You can exercise, and you can engage the mind in a learning activity. Although I said it in 2-3 words, engagement is very simple. So you cannot while away time. You have to be engaged in one form or the other. As I said, before the pandemic, if your learning curve, if we had a system for defining your learning curve, और हमने उसका वजन learning curve X kilo अगर उसको define किया था, in the period of pandemic, it has to be X plus 1. अगर वो आज X plus 1 है तो कल 2 होना चाहिए, परसों 3 होना चाहिए. So that is what is going to substantiate the student. So what are the things that they should be doing? There are so many wonderfully vibrant platforms available. So one platform which is available and which the government promotes a lot is the AICTE website, which is called SWIME. So SWIME has got a lot of online learning platforms, and they are done and delivered by very prestigious institutions. It could be a IIM Bangalore to an IIT Kharagpur, and they are doing a program from training development to artificial intelligence, and they are available at the student's convenience. तो आप आज एनरोल करो, 4 महीने का है तो 4 महीने के बाद आपको मटेरियल आएगा, study the material, you give the online test. There is also an offline option available as and when it will be open. So what has happened is you get a state approved certification through SWIME, or you can take any, maybe a private channel which is like a Udemy. We have our own one vertical which is going to be launched, which is called EduCrack, which is called young focusing on that. So we have, as I said, as an institution not being stable at one point of time at all. We have done a lot of things. So our own vertical launches have been phenomenal. So we have something called AHA Power, which is part of the Hexagon Group. And the concept was we are selling Power in a container which is absolutely safe. The price point is 100 rupees, and if you got variation that will go slightly up, you just have to take the container. You have the discretion of reheating the Power content at the microwave, so the corona doesn't survive. So we have verticals like that. We've got another vertical called EduCrack, which is coming very soon, which is focusing on education as far as entrance examinations are concerned. So as an organization, we have grown vibrantly, and I suppose one of the main reasons for that is this integration of the proper team in place. So we are, as and when things normalize, we're definitely set for a launch. And even if they don't normalize and we're going to spread, we are there. We are prepared for taking our students to a wonderful kind of experience, a learning experience.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
That will be all from my side. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation and taking out a precious time for us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks to your team. We would, as a part of the institution, thank you for all the patience, and I believe you are traveling from a recent part. I
Yes.
think you would have taken about an hour and a half to reach. So thanks a lot for your time and patience, and we hope to catch up soon.
Sure.
Thank you.